3 years ago, twin sisters Megan and Janine Watts left their native California to come and live in London, where they set up a psychotherapy group known as the Open Box. Their methods were aggressive and controversial. As the movement grew, they transferred their headquarters to a large country house, Chute Hall, near Fulchester. One of their more recent recruits was Tony Blower, who, unknown to them, was a journalist on the Sunday Nation. Having spent some time at Chute Hall, Mr. Blower wrote an article on the group in which he described it as both harmful and fraudulent. At Fulchester Crown Court, Martin Haywood, as secretary of the Open Box, is suing both Mr. Blower and the newspaper proprietors, Nation News Limited, for libel.
On behalf of both my clients, therefore, I would like to make it clear that we do not intend to deny that parts of Mr. Blower's article could be considered defamatory. Our defence will be that it is true in every respect.
If I might interrupt you for a moment, Mr. Harvesty, just to explain a small procedural oddity to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My apologies for stemming the flow at such an early juncture.
Your Lordship is most welcome.
I'm obliged. Now, normally in a case of this kind, members of the jury, counsel for the plaintiffs, that is, those who are bringing the action, would be the first to bat, as it were, to present their case. However, in this particular case, as Mr. Harvesty has just explained to you, since the defendants, Mr. Blower and his employers...
Nation News, my
Nation News, yes, thank you. Now, since they don't deny that the article is defamatory, but allege that it is true, then the onus falls on them to prove that it's true, and that's why they are first to the crease. Hope I make myself clear. Now, proceed, Mr. Harvesty.
I'm most grateful to your Lordship. Furthermore, members of the jury, Mr. Blower's employers, Nation News, have emphasised that they stand firmly by him and by the truth of the article which they published. My Lord, I now call Mr. Anthony Blower to the stand.
What is your religion?
I'd like to affirm, please.
Please read aloud the words on this card.
Thank you. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
You are Anthony Blower of 216 Fremantle Terrace, London, SW19?
That's right.
Journalist employed on the Sunday Nation?
Right.
How long have you been a journalist?
I started the day I left school. I bicycled through the gates at 3:45 and at 4 o'clock I was in the offices of our local tabloid.
Local what?
The Basingstoke Echo, my lord. The newspaper.
They'd promised you a job?
Well, not exactly. There was this door with editor written on it. I walked in, he didn't look up, he was doing the pools. Afternoon, Governor, I said. Who the hell are you, he said. I said, I'm the new tea-boy and I take Reading and Carlisle for home draws. Yeah. And he laughed and I started to work the next day.
Mr. Blower.
Oh, I'm sorry, my lord, just the fact.
How long have you been with the Sunday Nation?
4 years.
Now, during that time, you must have done a fair number of big feature articles under your own byline.
Yeah, about 30.
And have you any of these brought you to court before?
None. Not until this one.
And yet would you say that at least some of these other articles were also exposés, campaign journalism directed at what you thought to be antisocial or harmful activities? Very much as this article on the Open Box might be described.
Well, my lord, I would suggest that these assumptions are quite misleading at this stage. The nature of this article is the crux of the case. My friend has no right to dress it up in such chivalrous clothes.
Yes, I think I agree with you, Mr. Logan. But members of the jury, you must ignore counsel's implication that Mr. Blower's article was necessarily so high-minded. It's a matter for you and not for Mr. Harvesty to decide.
My lord. When did you first hear of the Open Box?
Oh, it was pretty much being talked about when I first came to London.
What impression did you gain of it then?
Oh, there was just another cranky psychotherapy group run by these two weirdo sisters.
Did what you heard give you the impression that it was antisocial or harmful in any way? Or, for that matter, fraudulent?
Oh, not at all. Just eccentric. I didn't think much about it, really. I heard it had moved out of town. I was pretty busy myself at the time.
When did you next hear of it, then?
When Mr. Gupta wrote to me.
Mr. Gupta will be giving evidence later, my lord. He made certain allegations against the Open Box, didn't he?
He did.
And you decided, as an experienced journalist, that they were worth investigating.
I reckoned he was levelling with me.
Yes.
I still do.
Rest, of course, is contained in this article of yours, how you infiltrated the movement under a pseudonym, how you
Well, my lord, the article
accept-
has already been read to the jury once. Surely we don't have to recap on it.
My lord, to compress the experiences of 3 weeks into 2,000 words is almost an impossible task, I would suggest. Besides, I'm bound to ask Mr. Blower whether the allegations contained in this article are true.
Yes, very well. Carry on.
Thank you, my lord. Would you tell us a little bit more about these so-called psychotherapy sessions? Were these a central feature of life at Chute Hall?
Certainly. That's what the evening courses and the weekend courses are all about.
This insult session that you describe, at which a member of a group was required to counter a systematic barrage of insults directed at him or her by the rest of the group with a thank you or I agree. Were these frequent occurrences?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you describe them as sadistic?
Well, the victims, or the subjects as they were known, were frequently reduced to tears or hysteria.
Can you tell us from your observations the sort of thing that led to this hysteria?
Yeah, well, everyone took it in turns to be the subject. You'd be asked what you hated most, what you were most afraid of, if you'd ever thought of indulging in cannibalism or incest or murder. You'd be surprised how many people said yes.
You were actually present when events like this took place, were you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you also take part in these so-called contact sessions?
Yes, I did.
You actually saw people, comparative strangers sometimes, touching each other, handling each other extremely intimately.
Oh, certainly, I took part.
You describe these sessions as, I quote, a sophisticated form of torture. Why?
Well, they turned you on and they switched you off. Sex was forbidden, you see. I don't know what the clients, the outsiders, did when they got home, but it was forbidden to the residents of Chute Hall.
You say that there were married couples, members of the movement, living at Chute Hall.
That's right.
And these were forbidden to live together as man and wife.
Yeah, they were.
Mr. Blower, you say in the article that the house was painted white throughout.
Yeah, and the furniture and all.
And the residents all dressed in black. Why was that? That's right, is it?
That's right.
Yes. But was there any reason given?
Yeah, it symbolised the extremes, good and evil and all that. Extremes are what it was all about at Chute Hall. We were supposed to be discovering the extremes of our own reality and then finding the strength to live by them. Total promiscuity, total chastity, total recklessness, total abstinence. None of the normal compromises that ordinary people live by, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, black and white was okay, but no grey.
Well, in that case, if promiscuity was as acceptable as chastity, why this prohibition against sex?
Well, we were in a state of preparation, a kind of neutered monkishness. We lived very sparsely, no drink, no sex, gave up material possessions, the lot.
Preparation for what?
Well, the theory was that when you were complete, when you opened yourself, you could go back into the world a stronger and a better equipped human being. Alternatively, you were invited to join the inner circle.
Ah, now you're referring to the half-dozen or so members of the movement who had access to the top floor.
Yeah, that's right. Although only Megan and Janine officially lived up there.
The twin sisters who founded the movement?
That's right.
Was it your impression that in this inner circle all prohibitions were removed, including that against sex?
That's right.
Now, you say in your article, I quote again, I got the impression that Megan and Janine were regarded by their followers as some kind of two-headed divinity. Everybody seemed in awe of them. They hardly ever descended from their Olympian top floor to talk to us ordinary mortals. They maintained a rule of fear. Would you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, they claimed that they'd achieved a state of total identification with God. They floated above us ordinary mortals and occasionally delivered themselves of such cryptic aphorisms as, hate and be strong, the validation of God is death, reality is a knife and a quagmire, things like that. The worst thing that could happen to you was when you got a message, that is, from someone from the inner circle, that either Megan or Janine thought that you were regressing. That meant that you were failing the movement. That was the greatest fear of all. But it was all fear. It was a regular little holiday camp, I can tell you.
Now, in his letter to you, Mr. Gupta, this letter from Mr. Gupta is an agreed document, my lord. Yeah. Mr. Gupta describes the atmosphere as hypnotic. Did you find yourself hypnotised, Mr. Blower?
No, well, I went in professionally, so my defences were up. But I can understand how it grabbed people the way it did, especially the people who went there.
You write, cults are the unpaid bills of the church and state.
It's not original, I'm afraid.
But what did you mean by it?
Well, I mean, there's always people looking for an answer to life, aren't there? If they can't find it in politics or in the Orthodox Church, then they go looking for some cult, like the open box. And the more authoritarian that it is, and the stronger that it is, the better it is. And there was no more authoritarian place than the open box.
Well, my lord, with due respect, I don't think Mr. Blower is qualified as either a philosopher or a psychiatrist.
My lord, he is, however, an experienced journalist, trained to observe people, often in unusual circumstances. In my submission, his observations are of the utmost assistance to the jury.
Yes, I feel we should hear him out. You'll have your opportunity later, Mr. Logan.
I'm obliged, your lordship. Would you say, from your observations, that most of the people attracted to the open box were, in some sense, confused people, people with problems?
Yeah, well, there were people who couldn't face the ordinary everyday problems of life.
And do you think that their involvement with the open box helped them or harmed them?
Well, it might have helped a few, but I'm convinced it harmed the vast majority.
Now, let us turn to your other allegation against the open box, namely that it is fraudulent. Did you discover at the time how it was financed?
Yeah, well, there were three main sources of finance. Firstly, there was the weekend courses and the evening classes. At £40 a head for 10 sessions and £35 a week for the weekend, that was very profitable in itself. Then there was a magazine which ran appeals for donations, though I'm not able to say if any came in from that source. But it was common knowledge that the main source of finance came from the residents of Shoot Hall themselves.
How do you mean?
Well, it's very simple. Once you got invited to be a resident at Shoot Hall, you're expected to give over every penny you could lay your hands on. Give all thou hast and follow me, that kind of thing.
My lord, their open box brochures, a copy of their magazine and income tax returns, all confirming Mr. Blower's evidence, are in this agreed bundle of documents. Were you personally approached to donate money?
I was.
By whom?
Martin Hayward, the secretary.
And what was your response?
I gave him a cheque for £50 and I said that I was negotiating with my stockbroker to sell some shares left me by a maiden aunt that I hope would realise £2,000.
Did he seem at all surprised that you would be willing to donate so large a sum?
No. All he said was he hoped I'd give it him in cash.
Did you ask why?
Yeah. He replied, it makes for easier living with the Inland Revenue.
What gave you the idea that money received by the open box was being abused?
What, my conversation with Mr. Gupta?
Who belonged at one time to this group you referred to as the Inner Circle.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
What next aroused your suspicions?
A conversation with Martin Hayward.
Did you take any steps to verify these suspicions?
Yeah, well, you know, I felt that I'd found out enough what was going on downstairs, so I thought, what the hell, I'd go upstairs and see how the other half laughs. I climbed up the fire escape. I was standing on the platform outside a French window, and the phone rang. Martin Hayward came in, he answered the phone. He called Megan and he said that Janine was on the line from Zurich. She came in, she said that she had good news, that she had a letter from the tax people, they were in the clear on that score.
She actually used those words?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And then she told Janine to put the deal through the Zurich account.
Yeah.
And then there was a growl from a dog, because they kept this Alsatian, and Megan shut up sharpish, and, well, the growl came over towards me and I was discovered.
What happened?
Well, Megan put the phone down, walked out, said remove him, and I was removed forthwith.
Was there any violence?
Oh, no, I'm not violent. You can't afford to be in my job. Martin Hayward thought it was very funny, but still he finds a lot of things very funny.
You left that night?
Without ceremony.
And your article appeared the following Sunday, did it?
That's correct, yeah.
Finally, has anything at all since this article was published caused you to regret its publication?
No.
Or to wish that you had, in places, phrased it differently?
No.
Or to modify your overall conclusion that the open box is a harmful cult, dedicated, in your own words, to profit and not psychotherapy?
No. That's exactly what it is.
Mr. Blower, you've told us that after you'd heard from Mr. Gupta, you agreed to meet him.
Yeah, that's right.
Why?
Well, apart from anything else, I thought it'd make a good story.
What impression did you get of him?
Oh, I thought it was a mess.
What kind of mess, Mr. Blower?
Oh, well, very disturbed, my lord. I thought he was bitter and, at the same time, very frightened.
I noticed, Mr. Blower, that you always use the name Dave Kent for your articles.
Who's going to remember a name like Anthony Blower?
You'd say that Dave Kent made a greater impact, would you?
Wouldn't you?
And do you think that impact is important in a journalist's career?
Well, I think it's important in anyone's career.
And there's nothing
Especially
like...
Sorry.
Nothing like a good controversy to make an impact, to put a journalist on the map, so to speak. Now, since joining the Sunday Nation, Mr. Blower, have you done full-length feature articles on the following? Perhaps you could just say yes or no as I list them. Housing estate brothels.
Yeah.
The sex life of male escorts.
Yes.
And wife swapping in Folkestone.
Yes.
Sex change clinics.
Yes.
And so on and so on. I take it you felt these articles had impact and with a bit of luck would become controversial. Some, however, might consider them to be a fairly unsavoury list.
I've also done articles...
And you say none of your articles have landed you in court. However, as a result of complaints lodged about them, have you ever been brought before the Press Council?
Yes, I have.
How many times?
Twice.
And were the complaints dismissed or upheld?
Upheld.
On both occasions?
Yeah, I made a couple of mistakes, that's all.
A couple of mistakes. Yes, it doesn't seem to have affected your progress at all. Impact, controversy, and a couple of mistakes here and there. It's a recipe for success, it seems. Muckraking can be very profitable, can't it? Particularly if you don't worry too much about the truth.
My lord, I must
withdraw that
protest.
last remark, my lord. Now, turning to your article and your allegation that my client requested you to make any donation to the movement in cash. Now, was anybody present when this conversation took place?
No, I don't think so.
No, indeed. You made that part of the conversation up, didn't you? Because Mr. Hayward never mentioned cash or inland revenue at all, did he?
He did.
Now, Mr. Blower, I would remind you that the onus in this case rests on you to prove that your extremely serious and damaging allegations are true. Now, so far, what you have told the jury may be excellent journalistic copy, but I am bound to say that it does nothing in terms of hard evidence to support your allegations, does it?
Mr. Blower, have you also written articles exposing, among other things, pyramid selling,
Yes, I have.
bribery in local government,
That's right.
the maltreatment of children in certain orphanages?
Yes.
And is it true to say that at least this last article was commended by MPs on both sides of the House in Parliament?
Yes, it was.
Yes. Finally, in writing this article on the open box, you must have been aware of the possibility of a libel action.
Oh, well, it's always a possibility in a case like this.
And yet you and your employers were prepared to go ahead and take that risk.
I thought that what I wrote was the truth, and I thought the public ought to know it.
Thank you, Mr. Blower.
You may stand down, Mr. Blower. I graduated as a doctor at Dublin University in 1954. I've specialised in psychiatry ever since.
What's your present post, Dr. Gibbons?
Consultant psychiatrist at St Patrick's, Islington.
Dr. Gibbons, you've read Mr. Blower's article, and you've heard his evidence relating to these so-called psychotherapy sessions at the open box. Are you familiar with this type of activity?
I think any psychiatrist would recognise the species. In my particular case, I happened to spend some time with a group of people who went in for this kind of thing. Indeed, some of the sessions which Mr. Blower has described were absolutely identical to some which I myself have observed.
In what capacity did you spend time with that group?
Professionally, as an observer, you understand. I had expressed a certain scepticism, and so they invited me to come and see for myself. I was most interested and happy to accept their invitation.
How many sessions did you attend?
Oh, dear. Well, I'm very bad at that sort of thing.
Well,
about twice a week for just over 4 months, so that'd make about 30 sessions, wouldn't it?
Yes. After which you wrote a paper?
I did.
Would you tell the jury what conclusions you reached, please, Dr. Gibbons?
Well, I confess I remained an unbeliever. The avowed object is to free people from their inhibitions, to lead them to a truer awareness of their real selves and so to a greater personal happiness. I don't think many of us would quarrel with such aims, but I find nothing in these modern methods that are in any way an improvement on more traditional techniques. Furthermore, I firmly believe that when they're used on immature or unstable people, they can be positively dangerous. Yes. Indeed, 2 of the young people in the group I observed subsequently came to me for treatment.
So it is your considered opinion as a psychiatrist that the open box psychotherapy techniques, as we've heard them described, are indeed harmful, as Mr. Blower stated in his article?
Well, they certainly can be,
Thank
yes.
you, Dr. Gibbons.
Dr. Gibbons, would you say that psychiatry is still a young science?
I suppose that's right.
And that experienced psychiatrists often disagree with each other?
Oh, most certainly.
And is it also true to say that some psychiatrists have great faith in more modern, radical psychotherapy techniques of the kind under discussion?
Indeed, some of my younger colleagues do seem to have found some such methods profitable. My frank opinion remains that it's just trendy mumbo-jumbo.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Gibbons, but as I understand it, you felt that the open-box psychotherapy sessions could be disturbing for immature or unstable people. Is that right?
That's quite right.
Would you agree with me, Doctor, that the same could be said of, well, falling in love?
Yes, I suppose so.
Or football mania?
Possibly.
Exam fever?
Oh, certainly, yes. The record of suicides...
Or religions?
Yes, there can be no doubt at all about that.
Thank you, Dr. Gibbons.
You may stand down, Dr. Gibbons.
I call Mr. Manubhai Gupta, my lord. How long have you been living in England, Mr. Gupta?
Nearly 4 years.
Where were you brought up?
My family have a home in Madras, but my father is a diplomat, so we've moved around quite a bit from country to country, you understand.
Yes. Would you tell us what brought you to England?
I came in order to take up a place I had been offered at King's College, Cambridge.
What were you reading, Mr. Gupta?
Chemical engineering.
Did you enjoy your time at Cambridge?
I cannot say I found it altogether a relaxing experience.
In what way? Many students, for example, have money problems. Was that true in your case?
Oh, no. My father is a rich man. I have a more than handsome private allowance. No money problems.
What then? Mr. Gupta, the jury knows of your involvement with the open box. I think it would help us all to know something of the background of what led up to your becoming involved.
It's not easy.
Well, tell us about your father, then.
My father. My father is a hard-working, dutiful public figure in India, in politics now, very successful.
Would you say he was a loving sort of man, a family man?
I would say so, that he had little time and even less inclination for family life.
Your mother?
Devout Hindu, in great awe of my father. We did not see very much of her.
What about this moving about from place to place, as service and diplomatic families often have to? Would you say that affected you?
Of course. One had little time to put down one's roots in any particular place, least of all India. It was difficult. My childhood was definitely rootless, you might say.
And loveless?
Suppose so.
Was this why you found Cambridge difficult?
Many people have had unsettled childhoods. In Cambridge, I was an outsider, an Indian in a Western university culture, but also an Indian without any real identity with India. Furthermore, I'm rich, which makes people resentful of me and me suspicious of them. As a rich man, I was expected to join the smart set, the pit club and so forth, which I found snobbish and decadent. As a non-white, I was expected to be political. My non-involvement caused me great guilt. Oh, yes, I had problems. Easier to understand now than they were then.
Why did you not leave?
I enjoyed my work.
Would you tell us what class you achieved at the end of your first year in part 1 of your Tripos exams?
First class.
Was it ever suggested to you that you might have a future in academics?
My tutor gave me to understand that if I did as well in the rest of my Tripos, the college might offer me a fellowship.
And what did you get in finals?
I never completed my course.
Why not?
I met him.
Martin Hayward, the secretary of the Open Box.
He was not secretary then. That was before bureaucracy set in.
How did you meet?
In London, he was handing out leaflets. He gave me one. We started talking. The same evening, I went to my first session.
Were you affected by it?
I had never experienced anything like it. Within a week, I was, well, completely hooked, you see.
Can you try and explain what this attraction was for you?
Well, my entire life was changed. I began to accept the world for what it was, or rather what I thought it was. Suddenly, I felt I had found something worth struggling for, something I could belong to.
So what did you do?
It was about this time they were trying to move to Shute Hall. I knew they needed money. I had a small trust in the UK, which I was 21, you see. I controlled. I paid it over to them.
How much was it?
£10,000, sir.
The case of Martin Hayward against Anthony Blower and Nation News Limited will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. At Fulchester Crown Court, the young journalist Tony Blower is being sued for libel because of a newspaper article he wrote about a cult called the Open Box, in which he alleged it was both harmful and fraudulent. Mr. Blower's counsel has called a former member of the movement to give evidence in support of his allegations.
When did you become a resident member of the Open Box, Mr. Gupta?
Oh, well, when they moved to Shute Hall, I went to
Yes. Did it live up to its expectations, to your expectations of what it was going to be?
Oh, yes. Certainly what Mr. Blower says. The sadism, the hysterics, the crippling sense of fear that most of us had to live with, they were real enough. But one accepted them. However, after about 4 months, about that, I began to feel static, you know? I felt no real progress was being made. Nothing was really being achieved. And that's when they did something very clever. He came to me, he said that Megan and Janine had noticed me. He said they had been talking about me upstairs, that I was doing exceptionally well, and that they felt I was nearly ready to join them.
What was your response?
I have never felt so proud in my life, sir, never.
So were you accepted then as a member of the inner circle?
Not until I had paid my subscription in full.
Would you mind telling us what you mean by that, Mr. Gupta?
Well, in the same conversation, he said to me that the movement needed money to save it from collapse. Did I know of any likely sources? I told him that all my money was gone, that I only had my allowance left.
Did Mr. Haywood seem upset?
Oh, no, not at all. He's a clever man. He laughed and told me not to worry.
But did you worry?
Certainly I worried. I felt that coming from a rich family, I had an obligation to save the movement. I felt that everything depended on me.
Did you do anything about it then?
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell the jury what steps you took, Mr. Gupta?
I wrote to my mother. I told her I had been reconverted to Hinduism and that I wanted to contribute to a fund for a Hindu temple in Stockwell. She sent me £15,000 from her personal account in France. I paid it over to them.
Would you tell us then how much money altogether you paid in to the Open Box Fund in the first 6 months of your involvement with them?
£25,000, sir.
What was their response to this second donation, the one for £15,000?
I got a letter thanking me from him.
Yes, my lord, it's in the agreed bundle of documents at page 25. It's written by Mr. Haywood to Mr. Gupta. It's quite short. Dear Guppy, thanks for the money. You have come a long way and are now a good and important friend. You will find there is a rich harvest on the top floor. Welcome, Strength, Martin.
Did you say strength?
I understand this is a standard salutation among members of the Open Box, my lord.
I see.
What did you understand by the letter, Mr. Gupta?
That I had been received into what Mr. Blower has called the inner circle.
And did it turn out as you had expected?
I found company directors running a business, bureaucracy. All the talk was of money, numbered accounts in Swiss banks, villas in Mexico and the West Indies. They said they were raising funds for starting up centres. They raised funds, I've no doubt, but no centres got started.
Did you confront them with that?
Oh, yes.
What did they say?
They laughed, quietly. They always laughed quietly. They said I was being neurotic, that I was regressing, and that I couldn't expect to be cut in as long as I was being neurotic.
Cut in?
The rich harvest, money.
Mr. Gupta, did you ask for the return of your money?
I asked.
And did you get it back?
They said sometime. Then they said it was spent or in shares or in some such that could not now be sold. They said they were disappointed in me. I never got the money.
Well, why did you continue to stay at Chute Hall?
I think just the possibility, the truth, that the possibility of walking away never once occurred to me. I think I was hypnotized, you know.
Well, how did you get away in the end?
I only remember waking up in hospital. They told me I had tried to kill myself.
How long did you stay in hospital, Mr. Gupta?
2 months.
And are you still receiving treatment?
I am.
Psychiatric treatment?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta.
Mr. Gupta, we've heard your childhood described as loveless and rootless, and you've told us that at Cambridge you felt an outsider.
Yes, sir.
You went on to say that when you encountered the teaching of the open box, your entire life changed. I had found something worth struggling for, something I could belong to. Is that right?
Yes.
And when you came to Chute Hall, you still felt the movement was important to you?
In general, yes.
Did you feel you yourself were making progress?
I hoped I was.
So you felt it was, shall we say, merited when you were invited to the top floor, to the inner circle, as
I
we
was
heard it called?
pleased, proud.
It never occurred to you that some kind of pressure was being put on you, say, to make a donation to the Open Box Funds?
Well,
I mean, surely if you had felt that you were being used like that, you'd have turned your back on the entire movement, like any man of spirit.
at that time, I had no such suspicion.
Did anybody pressurize you for money, threaten you in any way?
Nothing was actually said.
Did anybody apply pressure over the original donation of £10,000?
No, but...
So any money you donated to the open box was given entirely voluntarily?
I suppose so, but my state of mind...
As I understand it, your doubts about the movement set in from the time you joined this inner circle. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Gupta, is it true to say that this small group of people was effectively the administrative body that ran the entire affairs of the open box?
Yes.
So surely it's hardly surprising that conversation on the top floor was largely business.
No.
Would you, for example, accuse people responsible for administering church funds of being un-Christian because they are businesslike? Mr. Gupta?
No.
Did you, in fact, ever examine the accounts of the open box?
No.
No? Well, don't you think it's somewhat irresponsible, then, to accuse the movement of fraud?
The accounts would not show anything. It was obvious from the way they talked and behaved and laughed.
Laughed at you?
Yes.
Why do you think they laughed at you, Mr. Gupta?
They laughed at me because I'm not like them, because I'm...
Because you are what?
They talked about me behind my back all the time.
Were there times, would you say, Mr. Gupta, when you felt you hadn't been properly consulted over some decision taken at the open box?
Yes.
You felt they underestimated your contribution?
Exactly, yes.
And you were very anxious to make a contribution, weren't you?
I had many plans, many ideas.
It must have been very painful for you to be excluded like this.
Yes, sir, it was painful. Don't you see, I wanted that we should be friends working together to build something good. But I had no friends, no voice there. It was a nightmare, sir. They stood, all of them, together against me.
Yes, would you say that the feeling that you were being excluded in this way made you at all neurotic, Mr. Gupta, and that had you been less neurotic, you might have been included to a greater extent? Mr. Gupta, what was your relationship with Megan Watts?
In what way?
Well, did you find her attractive?
She intrigued me.
Or did you find her sexually attractive, Mr. Gupta? Oh, come now, surely part of the philosophy of the open box was that there should be honesty about one's desires, that shame was irrelevant and crippling.
I found her attractive.
You wanted to go to bed with her?
If I did not...
Yes or no, Mr. Gupta?
I wasn't the only one. He and Janine, they had sex often, and Megan with others I know, not me. Because she laughed at me.
Oh, she laughed at you too, did she?
Yes, I told you all of them. They laughed at me. They teased me and mocked me.
Did you ever try to make love to Miss Watts using force?
She made me think that she wanted me, that she was my friend.
Look, I suggest to you that you were only prevented from raping her in her bedroom by the intervention of Mr. Hayward and other members of the inner circle.
That is not fair, sir, not fair. It was she. She made me... I did not know what I was doing.
I put it to you that as a result of this incident you were asked to leave the open box.
Yes, because they wanted to get rid of me. They wanted it because they were corrupted, and I knew it.
I suggest, Mr. Gupta, that your entire motive for approaching Mr. Blower in the first place and subsequently for giving evidence in this case is simply and solely out of revenge. And I suggest that your emotions of revenge and self-pity must call your entire evidence seriously into question.
I have no further questions, my lord. I think that Mr. Gupta has been through quite enough in the course of these proceedings.
Shall we stand down, Mr. Gupta?
That concludes the case for the defence, my lord.
I call Martin Hayward. Would you take the stand, please?
What is your religion?
Church of the Open Box.
I beg your pardon?
Church of the Open Box, Your Honour. No, it's my lord, I'm sorry. But the only God I believe in is the God revealed to me by the teachings of the Open Box, my lord.
I confess I had no idea that you considered yourselves a church. No, I'm afraid I can't recognize the Open Boxes as a religion. You'll have to affirm.
Please read aloud the words on this card.
I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Well, you are Martin Hayward, and you live at Chute Hall, Barnfield, near Fulchester.
Quite right.
And your age, Mr. Hayward?
27.
And your occupation?
Secretary of the Church of the Open Box.
Yes, very well, then let's deal with this aspect first. Have you always called yourselves a church?
Well, no, we only started the other week, actually. But it's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, that's what we are. A group of people who share the same ideas about God.
Yes, would you tell us what form of worship you adopt?
It isn't a question of worship, really. She's not that kind of God.
She?
Could be he. Doesn't really matter. The point is, it's not really worship, it's understanding.
Yes, could you explain that to us, please, as simply as you can?
That's easy, it is simple. We call whatever controls the world God, right? The world looks to us both very ugly, very beautiful, very evil, very good, black and white. That's why we all dress in black and paint everything around us white. Looks great, as a matter of fact. Anyway, that's what our God is. Satan and Christ in one, if you like. Now, to understand God, we feel that we have to understand ourselves, to understand all the evil and all the good. The more we understand, the more we acidize the bands around us, the closer we come to God, and consequently, the more control we have over our lives. The less we compromise and muddle, the less we fear. That's about the size of it. That's what our psychotherapy sessions are geared to. In fact, that's what everything at Chute Hall is all about.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hayward.
Oh, sorry,
Now,
I forgot. Can I tell you what we hold to be the greatest virtue?
yes?
Telling the truth. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Now, I was going to say, elevation to the top floor.
Inner circle's good. Ever since the article, we've used that. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting again.
Elevation to the inner circle, then, is dependent on achieving a certain level of understanding of yourself and of your God.
That's it?
And at the very top are the Watt sisters.
That's right.
Now, Mr. Blower referred to them as having achieved a total identification with God.
Yes, well, they died, you see.
Yes, could you elaborate on that, please?
Could I elaborate? I think so. Well, like a lot of twin sisters, they shared illnesses and things. Then, aged about 15, they both got appendicitis. Acute. Rushed to hospital, both operated on, both died. For several minutes, they were effectively dead. I mean, the doctor actually pronounced them dead. It's in some medical history book. Anyway, the point is, they've progressed a lot farther than any of us. They've showed us all the way, and that's why we offer them respect.
And during the 3.5 years of its existence, how many people have attended courses at the Open Box?
Christ, I can't remember exactly, but it's about 700, 800.
What do you offer them?
Oh, we don't offer anything. We're just there. If people need us, they find us.
What do they get from you?
Strength in exchange for confusion.
All of them?
Oh, no. Most of them.
Mr. Hayward, is the Open Box a profit-making organisation?
No, we're a trust, non-profit distributing.
And are your accounts returned to Her Majesty's tax inspectors and agreed each year in the same way as any other institution?
Yes.
Have you ever encountered any problem with the tax inspectors?
No.
There's no disagreements, no threats of legal action?
Never.
It has always been a simple, clear-cut agreement.
Right.
Mr. Blower has testified that when discussing a donation from him to the movement's funds, you asked him to make it in cash. Is this true?
Of course not. I never said anything of the kind.
Oh, you're a bloody liar.
Mr. Blower.
I'm sorry, my lord, but...
Listen, even if we were bent, would I say something like that to a total stranger? I ask you.
And so you deny it?
Utterly.
Now, thank you. Would you tell the jury about your relationship with Mr. Gupta?
In what way?
Well, did you like him?
Oh, everyone liked Guppy, I should say. Self-pity and all. It's just a story with a bad ending. Eh, Guppy?
Mr. Hayward, please.
Sorry.
Would you tell us why you think the story ended badly?
Sure, it was our fault.
Yours?
He should never have been invited to join the inner circle.
Why not?
We thought he was ready, and he wasn't. He'd made enormous progress, you see, but turned out to be certain areas where he was still in shadow, still very reliant on other people's strength, you know what I mean? He desperately needed to feel accepted, to belong. He began to imagine that we were all talking about him behind his back, taking decisions without him. It all became very heavy. He suffered a bad regression, if you know what I mean.
I think so, yes. Now, would you tell us what happened on the night of November the 3rd, 1971?
Christ, I can't remember.
Mr. Hayward. That's the second time you've used that word.
Never again, my lord. I'm very sorry to have given offence.
Mr. Hayward, November the 3rd, 1971.
Oh, yes, that's when Guppy tried to rape Megan.
My lord.
Now,
this is
Mr. Hayward,
Terrence.
would you please just tell us what you actually saw?
Well, we heard what we took to be Guppy's raised voice coming from Megan's room.
We?
Janine and me.
Right.
So we went in there. We had to pull Guppy off her. I hope I've given no offence.
Did you form the impression that Mr. Gupta was trying to rape Miss Watts?
Yeah, we formed that impression.
As a result of this incident, what did you do?
Well, that was the end, really. He couldn't stay with us any longer. We told him that for his own sake he'd better start again from the very beginning.
You told him, in effect, that he was being demoted from the inner circle.
If you like.
And what happened?
He cut his wrist that night, didn't he? Silly old guppy. We had to rush him to hospital. Like I said, it's a story with a bad ending.
Mr. Hayward, you've been a disciple of the open box now for, well, since its inception, am I right?
You are.
Do you feel you're a happier man now than you were 3.5 years ago?
Happier, stronger, more alive, richer in every way. Except financially, of course.
You say that the open box holds truth to be the greatest virtue.
Right.
Is that the same as saying honesty is the best policy?
Oh, oui, that's a bit Machiavellian for me. I don't know.
All right. Did you call yourself a church very recently because you thought it might impress the jury in this case?
Yeah. We guessed it might go down quite well.
Good. That's very honest. Was one of your chief reasons for bringing this case at all the hope of getting money in damages?
Sure, we need the stuff. Besides, we've been defamed. Great opportunity, help pay off the mortgage.
And the publicity? You like the publicity which this case is attracting?
Love it.
Yes, you're being conspicuously frank with us, aren't you? Do you think you could tell the difference, Mr. Hayward, between real honesty and apparent honesty?
What do you mean?
Well, by apparent honesty, I mean when someone is prepared to admit to small faults so that his denial of major ones will be believed. Do you think you could, as a leader of an organization professing truth to be the greatest virtue, you could tell the difference between that and real honesty?
I can tell the difference.
Yes, I have no doubt the jury can as well, Mr. Hayward. Now, turning to Mr. Blower's article, do you dispute the accuracy of his factual descriptions as well as his conclusions?
Not as far as I remember. Good bit of reporting, I thought. Eloquent, crisp, witty.
You admit, then, that your own resident psychiatrist has been struck off by the British Medical Association?
Nutty as a fruitcake. He's the first to say so. Good psychiatrist, mind you.
Mr. Hayward, I think I should point out that flippancy in no way helps your cause.
My lord, I had no intention of being flippant. I humbly apologize.
Do you also admit that children have taken part in these psychotherapy sessions?
Yes, I admit that.
Sessions which the jury have heard Dr. Gibbons describe as dangerous for unstable or immature people. Sessions that you hold without the help of a competent psychiatrist?
Conventional psychiatry is irrelevant to us. By the way, what Tony forgot to say in his article is that children are only allowed to take part at the insistence, not permission, insistence of their parents.
Oh, is that because you consider that the sessions are dangerous?
We just don't want any legal hassles.
Do you dispute Mr. Blower's use of the word hysteria in describing these sessions?
Hysteria can be a very constructive form of release.
His use of the word sadism?
To an outsider, it might look that way.
The atmosphere of fear and repression amongst the residents?
I would say intensity would be a better word.
Enforced sexual abstinence, even among married couples, would you call that healthy?
People choose to come to us. They can leave whenever they like.
You have a sexual relationship, do you not, with Janine Watts?
Sometimes.
What do you mean?
When she wants it.
You mean it's her choice?
Oh, yes.
So it's one rule for the rich and another for the poor. Sex is perfectly permissible amongst the members of the inner circle, but not amongst the hoi polloi downstairs.
All of us at the open box are trying to work out something important about ourselves, our lives. We happen to believe that until people have found themselves, their strength, it's better for all irrelevancies to be excluded.
You say that in 3 years something like 800 people have attended your courses, do you?
Just about.
How many of those have committed suicide or tried to do so?
Why not ask me how many broke their legs or fell under buses?
Well, perhaps you could tell us then how many suicide attempts there have been amongst your residential members at Chute Hall while you've been there.
I'm sure you've checked with the hospitals, you tell us.
5, Mr. Hayward. 5 people in 2 years. And that doesn't include the attempts that haven't reached the hospital, or those cases in London before you came to Chute Hall. In addition, there have been 3 nervous breakdowns among residents of your Chute Hall, These are just the documented cases, Mr. Hayward. In all probability, just the tip of an iceberg.
These people had problems before they came to us, like Guppy. You can't lay these at our feet.
Can't I? You still maintain that what you practice does not cause harm.
Life is dangerous. Playing football is dangerous, or buying a ticket for the underground. There's an element of risk in everything. For most of our residents, we provide something positive. We wouldn't attract so many if we didn't, would we?
Oh, the world is full of gullible people, Mr. Hayward, as I'm quite sure the jury knows. You say your accounts have always been amicably agreed with the tax inspectors.
You've seen them, haven't you?
What was your job before you became caught up with the open box?
Chartered accountant.
You were a fully qualified chartered accountant, were you?
It was as awful as you make it seem.
Are you the accountant now for the open box?
It's one of my jobs.
Then you could tell us what your income was in the last tax year, couldn't you? Shall we take the courses first of all, please? They cost about £4 per person per session, am I right?
Just about.
And £35 for a weekend. That seems exorbitantly expensive.
So is everything.
What was your income on this account for the last financial year?
It's £39,000 or so.
Is that all? With so many people taking courses, that seems a very low figure, Mr. Hayward. What was your income then from donations?
27,000.
So you admit to an income of £66,000 and still you are not able to make a profit. How?
The house cost 90 grand. There's a price spiral, didn't you know? You have to pay for that and its upkeep. Feed and clothe 30 people, also visitors for weekend courses. Then there's the coffee bar, stationery, and producing a magazine's not cheap. You know?
This magazine, how often does it come out? Weekly?
No.
Monthly?
No.
Quarterly, then?
It varies.
How many issues of this magazine have there been in the last 12 months?
2, I think.
2.
But it's an expensive thing. Colour photographs, good paper, distributed free. There are also other expenses to do with fundraising and trying to open new open box centres.
Have you actually opened a new centre?
No.
You still haven't?
There are problems of personnel.
Mr. Hayward, would you say from your experience as an accountant that so-called expenses for foreign trips, promotions, etc., are an item that it is notoriously easy to manipulate when you're drawing up your accounts? I am speaking generally, you understand. Have you ever encountered this practice, things like it?
It happens,
But
yes.
not at the open box?
No.
No. This figure of £27,000 in donations, you always gave receipts, I presume?
Always. We tried to.
Did you give a receipt to Mr. Blower for the £50 that he paid to you?
He paid by cheque. That's its own receipt.
Would you agree, again speaking generally from your experience as an accountant, that it is at least possible where cash donations are concerned to hide these on your tax returns? I expect you've come across evasions in your times too, haven't you? Involving foreign bank accounts, that sort of thing. But no such practices ever occur at the open box.
No.
Just as you deny manipulating expenses.
I do.
And you deny hiding your true income from sessions and courses.
We're not asking you to like us, but just think, if we were bent, would I be stupid enough to bring this case?
Arrogant enough, certainly. And if you hadn't brought it, wouldn't everyone have automatically assumed that you were, in your own word, bent?
The case of Martin Hayward against Anthony Blower and Nation News Limited will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. In a libel case at Fulchester Crown Court, counsel for the defendant, Tony Blower of the Sunday Nation, has pleaded that the article he wrote about a cult known as the Open Box, alleging that it was both harmful and fraudulent, is true. Counsel for the plaintiff, Martin Hayward, secretary of the Open Box, has called his second witness, Mrs. Barbara Peacock.
give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Mrs. Barbara Peacock of 64 Ashley Gardens, Fulchester.
That's right.
Mrs. Peacock, are you involved with the open box movement?
Oh, definitely I am, sir. I've been attending courses going on for a year now.
And do you feel that you have benefited?
Well, certainly I'm a much stronger person than I was a year ago. I'm not frightened like I was, not at all.
And what is it about the teaching of the open box that particularly helped you, would you say?
Well, the whole thing, really. I mean, it makes sense. They teach you to look life in the eye and get it off your chest. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's hard to describe it, really. I mean, I know it sounds daft, all those insult sessions and that, but if you try it, it really makes sense. At least it's helped me, that I can say.
Yes, you say that a year ago, before you encountered the open box, you were frightened of life.
Oh, yes, I was in a terrible state.
Why was that?
Well, everything had gone wrong. Ronnie had left me.
Ronnie's your husband?
That's right.
Why did he leave you?
Well, because of that great rumpus I was involved in over the Pentecostals.
Yes, could you tell us exactly what is meant by Pentecostal, Mrs. Peacock?
Well, it's a new religious revival movement. The gift of the Holy Spirit, they call it, speaking in tongues.
And how did the Pentecostal movement come between you and your husband?
Oh, my lord, is this at all relevant? Surely we are concerned with the open box, not
I
the
was certainly
Pentecostal.
beginning to wonder myself. Mr. Logan?
Well, my lord, in order to demonstrate what effect the open box had on Mrs. Peacock, in my submission it is necessary to establish precisely the state of mind she was reduced to a year ago.
Very well.
Yes, Mrs. Peacock?
Well, Ronnie and I had always been churchgoers. He was a sidesman at the parish church and I was on the committee. About 3 years ago, we got a new vicar, the Reverend Thin.
Thin?
2 ends.
Ah.
Well, it turned out he was Pentecostal. Well, Ronnie wouldn't have anything to do with that sort of thing.
But you were interested?
Well, I was a bit suspicious at first, but I went along to one of the prayer meetings out of curiosity, really. It was... Yes, it was one of the most exciting experiences of my life. Everyone was so happy, it was beautiful.
And did you receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, Mrs. Peacock? Did you speak in tongues?
Not at once, sir, no. Well, not for a long time, but the Reverend Thin, he told me to be patient, and one day it would happen, and it did in the end.
Oh, can you describe the experience?
Well, it was sounds my tongue was making. Beautiful sounds, sounds of joy. It was not a language that I knew or could understand, but it was the language of God's love. Well, I can't describe it.
Would you tell us what happened after that?
Oh, a whole lot of things. The parish was in a turmoil. It was split right down the middle, those for the Reverend Thin and those against him. Well, in the end, he decided to resign, and we, his followers, we wanted him to stay and work amongst us.
And that's when your husband left you?
I left him. I still loved him. I didn't want to upset him, but I had to do it.
Did you regret the decision?
Not at the time, no. Oh, it was a wonderful time. In the evening, we used to have prayer meetings. People would come to us and we'd talk and pray, and the Reverend Thin would heal. Well, not miracles, if you know what I mean. He didn't do broken legs or hunchbacks or anything like that. Just migraine and arthritis and lumbago, things of that sort, and mental conditions. He could cast out evil spirits. Looking back, I understand, you see, why I made such a fool of myself.
Yes, what led you to think that you were making a fool of yourself, Mrs. Peacock?
Well, it was a challenge. Some of us had read about some people in Canada who could handle deadly poisonous snakes because they said that God protected them. Well, as I've said, we thought nothing in the world could hurt us. And it was like a challenge. We wanted to show that God was in us and that God's love would protect us from anything. Philip.
Philip?
Well, he was one of the group. He had a sort of mission to try this. He wanted to drink strychnine, but we said no. Well, it's in the Bible, honestly. It's all in the Bible. It's in St. Mark. They should take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it will not hurt them. Well, it seems so silly now.
Oh, go on, Mrs. Peacock.
Well, they asked me to buy a snake. I went to the pet shop. I bought a puff adder. I brought it home in a box with little air holes in the lid. I took it on the bus. There were a few people at the house that night, and Philip.
What happened?
Well, he died, that's all. He just died. The snake bit him and he died.
Mrs. Peacock, do you mean to say that you were able simply to walk into a pet shop and come away with one of these deadly things?
Yes, my lord.
Was no licence required?
No, my lord.
Good heavens.
And how would you describe the effect all this had on you, Mrs. Peacock?
A nervous breakdown, they called it.
Did you undergo psychiatric treatment?
Yes, sir.
Did it help?
No.
And was it at this time that you encountered the open box?
I went into their coffee bar one morning in Fulchester. I've been going ever since to evening classes and weekend courses. It was like a second home.
And you feel it really has helped you?
Oh, yes, I'm not frightened like I was, not at all. And life's exciting again.
Thank you, Mrs. Peacock.
Mrs. Peacock, don't you think it's a little unfair to blame the Pentecostal movement for your breakdown?
Well, it didn't do me much good, did it?
Have you ever made a donation to the open box funds?
No.
Are you worried then about what they might do with the money?
Well, I don't concern myself with that.
Why have you never become a residential member at Chute Hall?
I don't want to.
You didn't want to involve yourself to that extent, is that it?
For me, it's better this way.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Peacock.
Miss Watts, can you tell us when you first arrived at the ideas embodied in the teachings of the open box movement?
Not exactly, no.
Well, then approximately how it all took shape. Tell us about your background in California, then. Your father, what did he do?
Our father.
Miss Watts, I wonder if you would be so good as to speak a little louder. The jury may find it hard to hear you.
Our father was a priest.
Orthodox?
Not at all.
I meant of an Orthodox denomination.
Presbyterian.
And did you and your sister attend a church school?
We were taught by our mother.
Did you mix a lot with children your own age?
We had no wish to.
Tell us about this incident on the operating table, Miss Watts, when you died. For 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Was this the starting point of your beliefs?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you're talking about.
Well, other people who have had such an experience report a vision, are able, as it were, to describe a perception of the life after death. Did this happen to you?
We understood a fusion.
Of what?
Of colour, of joy and pain, of good and evil. It was a clarity.
Do you regard yourself in a way as having, what shall we say, a mission, Miss Watts?
No.
But you do want to help people?
We are here. If people want us, they come to us. That's their reality.
Yes, Miss Watts, the defendant, Mr. Blower, has testified that whilst trying to gain access to your private apartment on the top floor at Chute Hall, he overheard part of a telephone conversation. Do you recall this incident?
Yeah.
Would you tell us about it, please?
Martin took the call. He said that it was my sister calling from Zurich. She was there to negotiate a business transaction.
What transaction, exactly?
We were negotiating to buy some new property to start a new open box centre.
And did you tell her that you had received confirmation that your accounts had been agreed by the tax inspector?
Yeah.
Why was this relevant?
We decided that we wouldn't go ahead unless they had been agreed. Now she could make an offer. It's nothing very complicated.
Now, Miss Watts, did Mr. Gupta try to rape you?
Rape is a legal word. He wanted sex. It was a solo decision.
Meaning that you didn't want it?
He had a right to fight for what he wanted. But he should have known it was auto-destructive.
And was he humiliated by your rebuff, would you say?
Yeah. I guess it was what you might call the last straw. He'd lost all strength by then. We were his friends.
If you were his friends, why do you think he's turned against you now?
Oh, he wanted us to be more than friends. He wanted us to be mother and father, God and country, the whole damn thing. We said no. We said that he had to live his own life. We thought we could help him, but he had to live it. That's why he hates us now, because we wouldn't live his life for him. That's why he's telling all these lies against us.
Miss Watts, that's a very striking creation you're wearing. I wonder if you would be good enough to step into the well of the court so that the jury can look at it in its entirety. With your lordship's permission, of course.
Is Miss Watts' attire relevant evidence, Mr. Hardiman?
If you will bear with me a moment, my lord.
Very well. Please do as counsel asks, Miss Watts. You will oblige me, Miss Watts, if you will do as counsel asks.
Thank you, Miss Watts. Do you always dress in black and white?
Yeah.
And yet other members of your cult all have to dress in black only. Why is that?
We are the fusion.
The fusion?
The assimilation of extremes.
Well, I hope the jury understand that much better than I do.
Those who can understand will understand.
This business of your supposed death, are you aware that most people would claim that neither you nor your sister really did die in the true sense of the word? Miss Watts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me something. What do you want me to say?
Are you aware of this?
I'm aware that the doctors present at the time certified that we died for 6 minutes.
Miss Watts, when you were in California, were there a lot of cults practicing there?
What do you mean by cults?
Groups not dissimilar to the open box. I refer to the process, the family, lunologists, imologists, sons of Satan.
These were in no way like the open box.
But the ground had been pretty well worked over, I should imagine. Was that one reason for coming to London, because there'd be less competition?
Nope.
What is your married name, Miss Watts?
Crutwell.
And when did you get married?
Approximately 3 months after I came to this country.
Would you tell the jury how long you and your husband lived together?
We met at the wedding. I've never seen him since.
Why was that?
I needed to get married to stay in this country. He was found for me. He agreed. Nobody got hurt. I married a passport, that's all.
You're divorced now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
This telephone conversation with your sister that Mr. Blower overheard, did you say, referring to the agreement with the tax inspectors, we're in the clear on that score?
Yeah, probably.
It sounds as if you were very relieved that agreement had been reached.
Yeah, sure.
Why should you have been relieved? If you were confident that your tax returns were accurate and honest, why on earth should you be relieved?
I mean, isn't settling anything a relief? I mean, taking a decision, that's a big relief. Do you know anybody who wasn't delighted when their tax returns were okay? Do you?
Where's your sister now?
Abroad.
Negotiating to start a new centre?
Meeting people who had written to us, raising funds, that sort of thing.
Oh, yes, yes. Now, you and your sister are identical in every way, are you?
No, not in every way.
Oh, in what way would you say you're different?
She's pleasure-orientated and I'm power-orientated.
Isn't power a kind of pleasure?
I meant physical, sensual pleasure.
Sex?
Yeah.
And you're not?
No.
You don't like sex?
It's irrelevant to me and to my work.
Are you a virgin, Miss Watts?
Oh, my lord, this seems quite unnecessary.
I think, my lord, if you will bear with me, I'm leading to an important...
I have no objection.
Well, I think that settles it. Besides, it's clearly relevant to the question of the alleged rape.
No, I'm not a virgin. I have had sex from time to time, and I expect that I shall go on having sex from time to time. I have no desire to shut any of life's doors.
Did Mr. Gupta know that you had sexual experience?
Yeah, probably, I don't know.
On the occasion of his alleged assault on you, had you invited him into your room?
Yeah.
Why?
I felt that he needed a chance to talk about himself. He needed strength.
Your strength?
Yes, sure.
Where were you when he came in?
In my bed.
In bed?
Yeah. It's a very good place to talk from. I often talk to people from my bed.
What were you wearing when Mr. Gupta came in?
Wearing?
Yes, that's right.
Gee, I don't know. A shirt, maybe?
Maybe nothing. Am I right?
Yeah, it's possible. It was a hot day.
And you deliberately led Mr. Gupta on, didn't you? You excited him unbearably.
Oh, my lord, I must protest again.
My learned friend has attempted to dismiss Mr. Gupta's evidence, my lord, on the highly dubious grounds that Mr. Gupta is an embittered reject.
Yes, I'd like to hear Miss Watt's answer to this.
My answer? My answer is that I deny it. Why should I want to tease Guppy? Now, that's ridiculous.
Would you tell us then why you didn't bring a rape charge?
Guppy needs help that the law cannot give.
Miss Watts, you did not call the police because you knew that a rape charge wouldn't hold, didn't you? You deliberately and sadistically set the whole incident up to bring on Mr. Gupta's impending nervous breakdown. Because you wanted him out, didn't you? He was a nuisance now. He didn't fit in with the rest of your corrupt inner circle.
You know, when you English don't understand something, you call it evil. I don't know where you get that kind of fantasy.
Are you denying what I'm suggesting?
Yeah, I'm denying it.
How do you analyse Mr. Gupta?
What?
What sort of orientation do you ascribe to him?
Club obsessive identity orientated.
And Mr. Hayward?
Oh, he's servant orientated.
Were you convicted on a drugs charge in California?
Man, have you been working late? Yeah. I was younger then. It was a stage.
Oh, you mean you don't use drugs now?
No.
Does anyone at Chute Hall?
That's their choice.
What do you feel about drugs?
They're a bar to understanding. Now, you listen to me, Mr. Lawyer. Because I've taken drugs, because I married a passport, because I associate with a whole lot of freaks, that doesn't make me a criminal, you know? I'm trying to work something out about my life, and that's my right. Right? And some 800 people have needed us. Tell me something. When have 800 people needed you?
Is Mr. Hayward frightened of you, Miss Watts?
Is he? I don't know. Maybe ask
Mr. Gupta?
him. What?
Is he afraid of you?
I don't know.
Is everyone at Chute Hall and the open box afraid of you?
I don't know.
Would it worry you if they were?
No.
Now, members of the jury, you are going to have to decide quite simply whether or not the open box is harmful and fraudulent, as Mr. Blower's article alleges. Now, I would ask you, in coming to your decision, to bear always in mind the dangers of prejudice. What proof have we that the open box, eccentric though it may be, is more harmful or dangerous than many generally accepted human passions and obsessions, such as love, for example, or exam fever, or football mania, as Dr. Gibbons has testified, or even Orthodox Christianity? Now, if they are to be adjudged harmful, very well then, so is the open box. But surely Mr. Blower implied something far more sinister, and what proof have we of that? None. Now, as for the charge of fraud, we are again, I suggest, in the realm of prejudice. Who do you believe, ladies and gentlemen? You will recall Mr. Blower's evidence. He is clearly an ambitious young man. You may feel that his style of journalism is one not noted for its scrupulous respect for truth. And you may feel that Mr. Gupta's emotional insecurities have led him to seek revenge. You may therefore question the reliability of his evidence. The only fact is that all accounts have been passed by Her Majesty's tax inspectors. Now, for the rest, you may find everything about the open box unattractive to you personally, but you must put personal antipathy out of your mind. My client is here on behalf of a group of people who have freely and sincerely made a certain choice about how they wish to live. Now, that choice may not be to your taste, but it is inalienably their right to make it. Now, we must be scrupulous in affording them the same legal protection against defamation as we would against any other group, and I therefore ask you to find for the plaintiff.
Lord. Members of the jury, firstly, I would remind you that my client is a professional journalist, and no professional journalist can afford to make allegations of this kind lightly. Let's consider the first of his charges, that the open box is harmful. Well, you may put your own interpretation on why Mrs. Peacock found satisfaction in the practices of the group. She claims to have benefited from it, but that does not mean that others have not suffered at its hands. One surely has to look no further than Mr. Gupta. Then you will also recall Dr. Gibbons' expert testimony that the so-called psychotherapy sessions, as practiced at the open box, especially without the benefit of an accepted psychiatrist, are potentially harmful. And indeed, the hospital in Fulchester records 5 suicide attempts and 3 nervous breakdowns among the residents at Chute Hall. These are just the documented cases. No, the fact is that this cult is harmful, and my client's use of the word, therefore, is quite justified. Now his second charge of fraudulence. The open box assured potential donors that any money would be used in the furtherance of the movement, the maintenance of Chute Hall, and in the opening of new centres abroad. Why were no new centres opened? Why did Mr. Hayward always want donations in cash? Why was Miss Watts so relieved that their accounts had not been questioned by the tax inspectors? And bearing in mind Mr. Hayward's evidence as an accountant? Can you really be satisfied that a substantial part of the open box income is not hidden from the tax inspectors? I suggest you must conclude that the open box is a money-grabbing little cult. That's all. Quackish, deceitful, and dangerous. I therefore ask you to find for the defendant.
Now, members of the jury, you must shed every trace of prejudice or personal antipathy. Now, I know this is not at all easy. You may, for example, feel that both sides in this case have taken, shall we say, a certain pleasure in the publicity being generated. Now, that too you must put out of your mind. You must address yourselves solely to the law. Now, you have to decide whether, on the balance of probabilities, Mr. Blower's allegation is true that the open box movement is both harmful and fraudulent. Now then, 3 points arise from this seemingly straightforward proposition. First of all, let's clear up this question of harm. Now, you have to decide merely if the defendants were right to say that the open box is harmful on any level. In other words, if the defendants were right to say that, in other words, something that actually causes harm or is capable of causing harm. However, and this is my second point, the defendants have to convince you that both their allegations are true. In other words, you may decide that the word harmful is true, but that the word fraudulent is not. Now, in this case, Mr. Blower is nevertheless at fault, and he must be found liable. And thirdly, members of the jury, you will note that the law requires you to decide a libel case not beyond all reasonable doubt, but on the balance of probabilities, and that is a very different thing. I would ask you not to be misled by able counsel for the plaintiff's insistence on proof. You have to decide whether, in your judgment, on the basis of what you have seen and heard in this court, the open box is harmful and fraudulent. Now, if you decide that on the balance of probabilities it is, then you must find for Mr. Blower and his employers. But if Mr. Blower and his employers have not so satisfied you, then your verdict must be for the plaintiffs. You will now retire and consider your verdict.
All stand. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict upon which you are all agreed?
Yes.
How do you find, for the plaintiff or the defendants?
For the defendants.
Next week, a chance for you to join another jury when our cameras return to watch another leading case in the Crown Court.